Hi, everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new live stream, and welcome to my kitchen here in Moscow region or provincial Russia, depending on how far away you consider Moscow region from Moscow and where the borders of Moscow tend to be. So, yeah, I see there's actually quite a few people already chatting in the stream already. So, thank you for coming a little bit earlier than the start time. It's very nice. I have sort of adjusted my camera slightly, so I feel a little more comfortable. I'm looking a little bit more directly at everybody. I do tend to look down slightly just to look at the comments. So, yeah, the first person to comment was Anton. Hello, Zdravstvuyte. Just a few things. If you haven't watched a live stream before, of course, I'm from Australia. I'm speaking in English, obviously. I can't read or speak Russian. I can say a few words in Russian, but I can't read Russian. So if your name or your channel name, I guess you could call it, is in Russian, I can't read it. And then also the comment. So you can comment away in Russian as much as you like. It's no problems at all if you want to comment as much as you like in Russian. I just can't read it. So hopefully it's nice and friendly. We also have 39 likes already, which is amazing as well, which is really, really, really good. So thank you. I think I gave a little bit more notice for the live stream to start, so it's kind of worked out good. So yes, thank you, Anton. Also, somebody else. There's a few other comments here with Russian names. Bay193, hello. Alexei B, hello. I think you were talking about the weather and the temperature where you are. Someone put that it's minus 24. Arthur, hello. Hi, spring person. Does that count? Yeah, I did put a kind of a poll there for everybody. If you're a summer or a winter person, but obviously there's 4 seasons. And I can never get the polls right. I can either put too many options or I can put too few options. So I hope kind of what I did was enough. Alexei again. Cahoos, hello. I think you're talking about the weather as well. Oh, this is in Ufa, because I showed this comment to my wife earlier, because my wife's from Ufa, and she was in shock how cold it is compared to here. So yeah, minus 37 daytime and minus 45 at night. So yes, very cold. This is all in Celsius, by the way. So if you're not in countries with Celsius, that's what we're kind of quoting here, not Fahrenheit temperatures. 1776. Hello, Marlene from Darien, Illinois. Hello. If you're here now, maybe you were here a bit earlier. You vote winter, but I'm actually a spring or fall person. I don't like extreme weather. Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's either kind of one way or the other. Aslan's daughter, hello. I'm not sure what you're talking about parking. I'm not sure what the reference is to that, but hello from Yaroslavl. Oh, Moscow region, or I guess anywhere outside of Moscow is Moscow. Well, I guess there's a point where it's not Moscow region anymore. Thank you. Good luck to you. You need got all crazy spelling for your channel name there. Jay, hello, who is also one of the moderators of the channel and a channel member as well. She's also a big part of the Telegram channel that we have called Traveling with Russell Telegram channel. If anyone likes to chat on the channel, particularly I post photos and things that I do day to day. And then on the where you post comments, it kind of goes over to another group, which is mostly people that are actively chatting. And there's just about 200 people in there now, which is really nice. So if you want to be part of that, it'll be kind of fun if you want to. It's all just basically like-minded people, I think, who just share their experiences. Mortus, hello. Hi, Russell. Greetings from Siberia. Oh, Gorny Altai. Hello. Tuk Tuk, hello. I see some regulars here and some not so regulars. So, yes. Svetlana, Anna, hello. Oh, Old Biker, hello. That's an easy name to pronounce. I can't, my program isn't showing the little picture of the icon of the person anymore. We've talked about this a couple of times, that it's if I use a VPN, it works. If I don't use a VPN, it doesn't work. So I just see kind of broken images a whole lot. You got minus 32 today. Yeah, today I'm just going to go off my usual little dial here. So minus 19 is where I am here in Moscow region. That's basically a little self-temperature gauge that I've got set up. So there's basically a sensor outside the window here. Well, just literally outside the window on the frame that I basically glued and attached, if you like. And then inside it's 26.6, which is probably about a degree colder than normal. We opened the window after we cooked dinner, so just to get all the smells out of the kitchen rather than kind of blocking us in the whole time. Oh, Babel Cruising, hello. Hello to the cruise ship. I like cruise ship guy. It's been raining out here in the bay for the last few weeks now. Wow. Rain in San Francisco. Renna, hello. Oh, lots of hellos. Yes. 1776, hello. Hang in there. It'll be warmer in a couple of days. Yes, I read on the news today. So basically, when I open websites with my desktop computer, which is what I'm on now, the Russian websites translate to English. So if I go on to something like Zen Studio, which is kind of a news aggregator, and there's stories on there, there's some videos on there, the weather, it translates them all to English. So they quite often have, almost every few days, they've got a weather story where it just tells you kind of the week's prediction, if you like. And they said that about every day now it's going to go warmer by about 2 or 3 Celsius. So minus 19. It's got a long way to catch up to get to 0, but roughly by the weekend or so, we should be back to a reasonable temperature. I don't like the word hate, Night Catty. Heavily dislike. I'm always correcting my wife when she said, I hate this, I hate that. I heavily dislike. If you change the word hate to that, it's a little bit nicer. But I'm a spring person, yes. I kind of like the cold weather. I've always admitted that I do. I like it when it's snowing, when it's about 0 degrees and snowing, and preferably be big snowflakes. That's when it's nice. When it's kind of white everywhere. We were kind of very lucky. Before it got super cold in Moscow, it snowed kind of the day before. So luckily all the ground was covered in snow, or to a point it was. And then it got cold. So it basically froze the snow. Whereas a few days before that, we got even the previous week, it got to plus 3, 4, 5 Celsius, and it melted everywhere. Then when it gets cold, it freezes the slushy snow, and it becomes very icy and very slippery. So we kind of got lucky with the snowfall before that. So, are you like life in Russian Federation? I like life a lot. I like life here. It has its ups and downs, right? Like anybody has anywhere in the world. Do you want to give a shout out to your group? And there's a Discord group as well. Yes. Maybe you could post the link if you know it. I'm not a very big Discord user. I'm part of 2 other groups that I occasionally use. Discord is kind of like a live chat program as well, where you can also play games with each other. I'm not into Discord personally too much, but there is a lot of people who use it in Russia and outside of Russia. So if anybody wants to jump over to Discord, also that's a little bit live interactive too as well. So if you're chatting to somebody back and forward, I don't know, posting photos, posting whatever you're posting, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I've tried using Discord. I just can't get into it as much as I find just the ease of using Telegram or WhatsApp and things like that. So, yes. John S., hello. Mr. Sarge, with love from Togliatti. Mr. Sergey, or maybe it's Sergey, or Serg Angel. Serg Angel, maybe it's Sergey. Alex, hello. Hello from Nova Glasklivo. It's 15 minutes away from Aprelivka. I don't know all these places, and they're up the road from where I am. Yes, I'm in Aprelivka. really not too far right from where Kiev Highway is. It's where that kind of first immediate turnoff is coming south from Moscow. We're literally walking distance from the highway right there. Perth is quite big. It kind of goes a little bit further down the highway. It goes across the other side of the train tracks where Perlivka train station is, or Vauxhall. So yeah, there's the link to Discord if anyone wants to be part of Discord. I know it's definitely a thing for some people and not for others. So that's where I kind of like the Telegram channel, because I can just post photos, people post replies. Everyone's kind of active in different social medias, I guess. Where am I located? I'm in Moscow region. Actually, we just sort of talked about it, Z like free. I'm in Moscow region. It's probably by car without traffic about 40 minutes from Moscow center, maybe 45, 50 minutes by car from Moscow. It's not that far away. It's still reasonably easy to get to Moscow. Where you want to go in Moscow is very, very big. So it's not as easy just to say Moscow is here or Moscow is there, because it's a huge geographical area. I'm just going to jump ahead here a little bit. I just want to say thank you to I Could Just Scream. Oh, and I think it's Canadian. Hello from Atlantic Canada. It's a balmy -4 this afternoon. Weird weather. We haven't had a single blizzard here yet this winter. Yeah, there's been a few different snowstorms in Moscow, not particularly big, but enough to put snow on the ground. When you go into the center of Moscow, you'll see it gets cleared away very quickly. And it's not as noticeable as it is on the regions, particularly even where we are here. You can still see, just basically where the cars create their own paths on the roads. Yeah, so thank you for the super chat. That's super nice of you. Atlantic Canada. So I guess you're somewhere, maybe, I don't know, St. John on that side, or maybe on the East Coast somewhere. I've done cruises that have gone to Canada from New York up to, I call it Canada, New England. Or fall foliage cruises, they tend to call them. So thank you. Yes, there is a couple of different ways if you want to support the channel. Obviously, super chats is more realistic if you're outside of Russia, because it's obviously much easier and it's linked right into the channel. Essentially, anything that is earned from donations to the channel go to me making this channel, literally putting this channel together. All the equipment that I use to do it. And then there's also links in the pinned comment if anybody wants to use if maybe someone's inside Russia. Obviously, a lot of things are blocked here for whatever reasons. So there is the donation alerts, and there is the, what's the other one called? Buy me a coffee. I put buy me a Coke. And then the SberBank, where basically you can make a direct deposit, I guess you call it, where you send money. We just talking about SberBank, we just had to have a plumber come and fix our pipes in our kitchen. For some reason, they just started leaking underneath the sink where the connections are that go into the waste and then the water that comes in. And this is kind of a bit of a funny thing about it, right? So in Australia, I have an apartment that I rent out while I'm not, obviously been in the country now quite a lot of years. And the lady was saying I'm using an agent to look after it, so I don't have to really deal with anything. But one of the light bulbs in the kitchen is flickering. It's not on or off, it's flickering. The lady that lives there isn't bothered by it, right? But when they did like an inspection, they do it every 6 months, like an inspection. They put it in the comments that it would be like to be fixed. And I'm like, no worries. So we got a quote, and it was $142. Now, doesn't matter which dollars you're using, Australian dollars, US dollars, but $142 is 8 or 9,000 rubles. I think it's more than that, I think. to get a light bulb replaced. Now, the light bulb that we had was one of these LED ones in the ceiling, which is a little trickier to replace. But anybody could get up there, replace it, and that's it. Buy a replacement at Leroy Merlin or wherever you live in Australia would be Bunnings, Home Depot. And that's it. The light bulb would cost about $10, maybe $12, and that would be fixed. So we had someone come. It's $142 to change a light bulb. Most of it is purely labor. The guy that has to come, it's a 2-hour minimum call out, even if he's there for 5 minutes. And then the light bulb. So the guy that came to fix the pipe under the sink, we actually know him. He's been here before. He fixed something in our bathroom quite a lot of months ago. And it cost essentially 700 rubles, which is about $12. We didn't need anything replaced because there was actually nothing wrong with what we thought was wrong. The pipe basically had kind of come loose and it was kind of clogged and and he came, we called earlier a few hours ago. He said, I'll come on my way through because he lives in the same town. He was here for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and 700 rubles, which is, I don't know if that's even equivalent to an hour's work, if there was such a thing as an hour's work. Now I'm going to get really crazy behind with where the comments were. I'm going to scroll back up, but I think I'm going to have missed where I was with the commenting. So yeah, crazy. I know it's just a very simple story, but just the irony of it that in Australia, you'd be paying 7,000 rubles, and here we paid 700 rubles. I know it's not the conversion for everybody around the world, but imagine calling a plumber out to Canada and paying him $12 and him being happy, or £12 if you're in England like Jay. Bear Bull in San Francisco, $12 for a plumber to come to your house. I'm not sure there's a few others that are around the world, but yes, kind of crazy. Thank you. Yeah, if there is any super chats that come in, I'll kind of take priority on reading them out. Also the same for donation alerts. I've got a little app open on the side on my side screen here that shows them when they pop up kind of instantly, if that makes sense. We have an unusual mild winter in Northern Europe. Lassie Tapper, hello. Yeah, minus 36 in Ufa now. Wow. My wife she just popped in to make tea and popped out. So loving the chill stream. Yes, it is very chilled. White Infinite. Yeah, it's pretty much that's the way it is when I do live streams. Hello from Marble City. From the Marble City. I wonder if that's a place, David. I'm not sure of Marble City. There's a place I'm from Perth in Australia, but there's a place in Sydney called White City. And there's, I guess, Las Vegas is Sin City. Minus 35 in Tatarstan. Shining Force, hello. Are you currently in Russia? Yes, I'm very much in Russia. The only way you'd really know, there's a few giveaways here. There's some mandarins there, or Christmas oranges. And that's Dobra Orange, which is the Fanta equivalent. So that's your proof that I'm in Russia. Otherwise, I might not be. Could not complain considering the cost of heating. Yes. Hello from Italy. Leila, hello. Buonasera. 6 degrees in Italy. Yeah, I was just looking at the temperature in Turkey. And it was only about 5 or 6 degrees also. I kind of brought up the whole map of Europe where it's got that little thing that you can just click and it shows you the temperatures. Yes. Minus 4 in Helsinki. Oh, and plus 3 in Sweden. Stockholm. This is t-shirt weather. We can afford higher coats. We can't afford higher coats. Yeah. Oh, I've been to Helsinki a few times. I was there once in summer and once in winter. So it's kind of like complete opposite sort of thing. Anna, hello. Anne. Sorry, maybe that's not Anna. Sorry. Inal, hello. What things were difficult for you to get used to in Russia? I guess you could say like the weather differences. I guess like now, like I went out yesterday to Gorky Park. If anyone's part of the Telegram channel, I posted a couple of photos. I did have every intention of going there to film a bit of a walk around of the Christmas kind of market there. But it was so cold, I took my gloves off and I could barely put my camera on its little tripod. And then just wasn't a lot of people there because it was so cold. There was far less people there than there was in Red Square on New Year and Christmas. So it just didn't feel right. It felt very eerie and quiet. I mean, it was probably more comfortable to walk. I did have a bit of a walk around Gorky Park. Also, all of the ice skating rink there is very fenced off and very closed off and not very open to the public. Sorry, I've just got a bit of something itchy on my neck there. And I had every intention of going to film, and then I was just disappointed by that. So I just didn't film anything. And I came home to the shopping center where we live, to Solaris, had some dinner, did a little bit of shopping in the supermarket, then came home. Probably should have filmed at the supermarket, shouldn't I? That's kind of my goal now for this week or so, is to film maybe some indoor videos at supermarkets and shopping centers. Get back to the roots of the channel. Oh, there you go. Togliatti. Automotive capital of Russia. You're Detroit. That's interesting that there's a automotive capital of Russia. I know there's a lot of coal mining and a lot of mining areas of Russia, but I didn't really realize there was a specific region for, I guess, for maybe manufacturing or things like that. Volgograd, hello. Alex, hello. Hello from Moscow. Hello. Hello from Kirsch. Irikiria. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Yes. Oh, -20, -35. I'm from Rostov, Alex. Yes. Нет, pinilai по-русски. Маленький по-русски. Чуть-чуть. I wish I could speak more Russian. I do wish I could. I am not actively learning enough to speak more Russian, but I'm trying to pick up more words. Can you get yerba mate in Russia with sanction and all that? Greetings from Argentina. I'm not sure what yerba is. Ariel, I'm sorry. I used to live in, I don't know what yerba is. Hi, Russell. I used to live in Novi Yugori, where 44 was quite normal for local people. Then I moved to Dubai. It took me 5 months to run away from 45 to +45. Yes, I've done the flight where I've left Russia and flown back to Australia in summertime, like now, for instance. And I had one of those. It wasn't like this -20. It was something like -10 or 15 when I went to the airport. And then when I landed, it was like 36, 37 Celsius in Perth. And I had my dad bring shorts and flip-flops to the airport, like the arrivals, where you walk through and all your family's there and taxi drivers. And he literally handed in my bags. He handed me the shorts and flip-flops, and I went and changed literally on the spot. So we can literally just have a comfortable ride home in the car. Hello from the United States. Oh, hello, old biker. South Carolina. Oh, I've cruised on cruise ships out of Charleston, South Carolina. Very nice place. From Siberia, -30 outside in Omsk now. What are your plans for the future, and why don't you show how the industries works? It's not a matter of like how the industries work and sanctioned factories under sanctions. I mean, I don't really have access to these places to go and film them and show them. You have problems filming in some shops here, let alone filming factories and things like that, or going to businesses. I mean, I know a lot of things are actively working and operating, depending on the industry, I guess, but I just don't have access to those sort of things to see them and show them. That's where I do a little bit more kind of just urban kind of style videos. Having buy me a Baikal instead of buy me a cola. Yes. Yeah, I've got no Baikal at the moment here. Actually, I do have If anybody watched the Coca-Cola video, this is the one from Iran. I didn't really look closely at the back of it myself, but this was the bottle that was from Iran right there. Actually, I kind of spotted it there when I saw the whole pallet of it, and the guy that has the shop came over, and he was super nice guy. The guy that has the shop, and I'll put that right there now. Yeah, I'm still saving that bottle just because he's like, oh, just take the bottle, like, because I offered to pay with my card. I took my card out of my wallet. He said, no, just take it. No worries. I could have probably got a free can at every shop I went to. Now I come to think of it, I was so silly not to think about that. Buy me a Baikal, yes. Plus 24 in Dubai. How do you find Dobro Fanta? Does it taste similar to Coca-Cola products? Yes. I find it exactly, personally, and this is me absolutely personally, I find it's absolutely is exactly what Fanta was. The Fanta that you taste in Australia and in America for that matter is very sweety, very sugary, very artificially flavored. Whereas the Fanta that you taste in Europe, I'll even say there was somebody there from Italy before, it's a much nicer tasting Fanta in Europe. So this one in Russia, the one I've had in Italy, I'll say it's a much nicer Fanta. It's a more orangey taste, more natural taste. I find that this one, my wife bought me this one. I didn't buy this one. I find it exactly the same. I mean, I'm not going to just say that for saying it, but I do think it's very, very, very similar. So this year it's winter. Can't imagine my life without snow and Father Frost. So I vote for winter. Yes, that's one thing that last year when we were in Australia, well, the previous year, now it'd be 2 years ago now, that my wife found a little bit strange. Like for New Year's Eve, we were at a friend's house. We were swimming in the pool that night. Everyone had champagne in the pool, and it's hard to kind of have that kind of different mindset, and it takes a while to kind of adjust to it. For me, I'm a below 75-degree person. We also used to explain to Western people on here what Telegram is. Yes. So yeah, Telegram is a chat app, very similar to WhatsApp, very similar to Messenger, more closer to WhatsApp because it's a standalone application where you can chat to people. Obviously, the other person needs to have Telegram. So you're going to not find as many people across the world has it. But I originally had it only to chat to my wife and my mum and dad. They were the only two people I had on my list of names on my Telegram forever. And it was just easier to use that app because it was working a lot better on the cruise ships when I was working on them. It was a lot faster. So yeah, if anyone gets Telegram, it's basically an app better protected for person-to-person chatting. What do you call that? Where it's blocked, encoded, encrypted. I think that's the right word. When am I planning to start learning Russian? I'm kind of learning a new word every day or two. By the time I'm old and gray, I'll probably know the whole language. Oh, is Marble City Knoxville, Tennessee? I wonder. -40 in Perm. Wow, Kotkets. That's even colder. Ottawa, Canada, -2. Been a warm January so far. Yeah, we had that, especially over the Christmas, over that 24th, 25th of December Christmas. There's like multiple Christmases for everybody. So where it was like plus degrees. And what happens is everything melts very quickly here, and then everything goes to slushy and snow, kind of watery. And then a lot of the roads and streets here don't have particularly good drainage. So the water doesn't disperse properly. And then because it's very cold in winter, the ground is very hard and the water doesn't drain easily. So it kind of just stays standing water. The minute it gets cold again, it kind of freezes. Hello from Spain. Hello. Hola, ¿cómo está? Dimitri says that you should not shave the beard until March. Yes, actually. Jay, thank you. And Dimitri, yes. I said to my wife, we went round to some friends for the Russian New Year, which was on the 7th, 2 days ago. And she said to me, oh, you haven't shaved. You've not, cleaned yourself up. I said, if I shave, it's too cold. It's actually even colder on my skin, especially where I go out and wear, like a beanie and my hood on my jacket. And my face is the bit that's exposed, right? And it's even colder. It's true, yes. It's a good excuse to keep it. It just tends to get a bit raggedy and gray kind of thing. It's not like that good-looking guy beard. Marble City, Kilkenny, Ireland. Oh, there we go. That's interesting. Marble City. Oh, from Iran. Oh, hello. There we go. I've got your Coca-Cola right here. Iranian Coca-Cola, 12 degrees in Iran. And maybe you've seen the video on the channel of the Iranian car, the Kodra. YouTube video with Video Ocean, and was very delighted to see such an uplifted foreigner's mood in the oh, that's a lot of things to read. Sergey, around YouTube's Videos Ocean. Yes, it's a big pond, isn't it, with a lot of little fish in it. It's very delighted to see such an uplifted foreigner's mood in this controversial country. Yes, thank you. Yeah, that's very nice of you. I have another friend who's making videos too. He's British, and he lives in Vladimir. Sam's Russian Adventures. If anyone's interested in watching another English person or an English-speaking person, it might be worth checking out his channel. He's lived 17 years in Vladimir. Very nice guy. 6 degrees in Norwich, England. I'm enjoying the mild weather. Yes, I think I kind of like the colder weather. I don't mind that it's minus 19 degrees outside. I don't mind that part. I'm going to dress up. I'm going to dress warmly. I mean, yesterday, even walking in Gorky Park, I wasn't cold. I mean, when I took my gloves off, my fingers were cold, but I wasn't cold in terms of that I didn't want to walk around. I just didn't feel it yesterday. It just didn't feel Christmassy. And whereas when I've walked in Red Square and I've done those couple of videos around the Red Square area, it just felt different. And then in Gorky Park, it's like, it's boom or bust there. You can go there and it's packed, especially summertime, packed with thousands of people. And it's got that really kind of atmosphere. And you can go in winter and there's just nothing. It's just blah. So travel to other cities. I'm trying to. In the rurals, the weather is perceived harder than Moscow. Yes, I think we've kind of got a week of this and then it'll warm up again. I mean, anything -5, -6, 7, whatever, it's not cold. First pronunciation, Kirch was better. Sorry, thank you. If you give a shout out to my Russian skills, yes. I actually wrote a poem in Russian today. It's on your Telegram. Don't know if you saw it. If it was in the last hour or two, I would have. But if not, most things that are in the Telegram group, if it's in Russian, I scroll past it. So if you guys are chatting profusely, I tend to not read a lot of the Russian things unless it's quite specific. Let's chill out. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I guess we can in the kind of warm kitchen here. Now that the sink is fixed, we're both happy. I think I'll end up with the dishes after the live stream. So, greetings from Vologda. We have -28 outside right now. Yes. So I guess -19. What's the computer say? -18. So yeah, I feel that the real field temperature is more accurate. In Australia, when they tell you the temperature in Celsius, it's the shade temperature. So when you've got like a 38 or 40 Celsius day, that's the shade temperature. So it's actually even hotter in the sun. Whereas I find for me, whatever the real feel is more the accurate temperature. Just wait until it says Chijik. As in the store of the bird, yes. Chijik. Yerba mate is a kind of a hot beverage, sort of a tea. Oh, I don't know. I don't drink tea or coffee. My wife does. She loves it. I'm not into tea and coffee like she is. Check this out. Today was -2 in the morning and wow. In the morning and -31 in the evening. I had bad sleep because of pressure change. Yeah, my wife is like that as well. She can tell when it's going to start raining or snowing, like that pressure change. She can, she'll get like headaches from the change in the maybe not in the middle of the day like that, but over the course of a day or two. I watched that happy video. Yes, that was a great day, by the way. I will be more than happy to go back. I really want to go to my local Pitorichka, of all places. I know it's very brand and name and niche, but the guy there said he needs to contact somebody else who can contact somebody else. I don't know, who knows his cousin. Hello from Samara. Oh my gosh, this is 29 in Samara and then -40 in Perm. I guess that kind of cold front's moving across. I looked on that weather radar, and it's kind of slowly moving over. Lube, hello, Lob. You go by Lob or Lube? Drove from Toronto wearing a heavy winter coat, snow on the ground, and gotten in Windsor. And they had no snow. We went in t-shirts. Yeah, 4 hours. Yeah, that's crazy. 4 hours. You don't go very far in Russia. Rachel, hello, or Rochelle. Sorry. Baikal with a slice of lemon is my replacement in Chinoto. Yeah, the Baikal, the cola, Chernogolovka Baikal, I really like. I like that much more than the Dobra Cola, if I was really to compare. I had the Eves Black. Is it Eves Black? I cheated on the food and had some KFC last night when I was at the shopping center. And the little meal deal came with, Pepsi products, right? But it was the Eves Cola that I got, which was essentially Pepsi. I didn't really think it was that good, really. I mean, it wasn't anything exciting. Yeah, Yerba is a herb drink we drink with hot and cold water. Thank you. Finland. Yeah, Telegram is a popular app in the CIS countries. It's a great app. Yeah, I mean, for what I use it for, it works very, very well. And I was using it for a lot of years before moving to Russia, before moving here permanently. And when I originally met my wife, that was how we kind of learned about using it, because that's what she was using. And she told me to download it and set up a little. There's not much to set up, really. You just sort of set up an account. Yeah, it's the same as Russian WhatsApp, right? Yeah. Most Westerners don't know about it. Yeah, I mean, it's like if I was to tell my dad about it, he would have no clue. I'd have to literally do it on his phone for him, or they'd have a tablet they use at the house. Oh, -50 in autonomous Okrug. I think Baikal is a much tastier cola. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that pine cone kind of taste to it. What were you surprised by when you first visited Russia? Guess the amount of people. I guess coming from Perth, where we've got roughly about 2 million people for the population, 2 million. And then obviously Moscow is 15 to 20 million. So, everywhere it seems busy. if that makes sense. Everywhere seems busy. Gorky Park last night wasn't busy. But if you go to Gorky Park in summer, and the thousands, tens of thousands of people walking in the park in summertime, I mean, I can understand that difference in weather and why. But just to go to a park and there's 10,000 people there, that's just silly numbers. And that's just a park. And that's just one park in all of Moscow. And every park you'd go to would have that amount of people. Yeah, just that amount of population. There's obviously people out and about everywhere. They're everywhere, right? And I guess that's one of the things that I shouldn't say it surprises me, because I worked on cruise ships, Europe, in the Caribbean. I've been a lot of places, and you can walk in Manhattan in Red Square, Times Square, and it's busy. And anywhere you go in Manhattan, it's never-ending people. And you can say that in a lot of parts of central Moscow as well. But until you really live in a place and you wake up the next day and it's the same, then you really notice the difference, right? I guess the amount of choices of things, I mean, a lot of people think that there is people queuing up for bread on the street corners. I mean, this was a lot of years ago, which I didn't live through. So, I mean, I can literally go to my corner store here and buy essentially anything or most things that I want without having to literally leave my building. I mean, especially when it's cold like this, there isn't really a need for me to go all the way to the big shopping center when I can just buy things locally. Grow it like your husband. No, I don't. I just get now. I'm at the point now where it just starts to bother me. There's a point where it's just too much, and I just don't like it. Oh, thank you. Happy New Year. Are you going to visit some Russian cities outside Moscow region? We're still working out, my wife and I, what we're planning to do or where we're planning to visit. Keep the beard. Thank you. Yeah, I guess once it gets itchy and scratchy, and that's when I just don't like it. My wife is from Ufa. Yes, she's very Russian. You haven't heard of Thierry? Thierry? I don't know Thierry, no. No. It was normally for the season. That was short memory among people. Yeah, I guess when you've kind of got this week of cold weather for Moscow, it's kind of like the talking point of the day, right? Looking good. Thank you if you're talking to me. Do I work in Russia? I don't have a job officially. YouTube essentially is the job that I have right now. So I rely on people watching videos, and where the ads come on the videos, that's the AdSense that's paid back to the creator. Things like the super chats, donation alerts, things like that, SberBank, that basically goes back into the channel, which creates an income that I live and make the videos from. So, yeah, YouTube is Russell's job. Right. Thank you, Jay. Oh, from Chicago. The Windy City, as they say, right? There is a few Americans here. Hi, there. I know for sure. Babel Cruising. We know each other, so. How are the Australians adjusting to this year's winter frosts? I talked to a couple of other Australians. We've got a tiny group that I created. There's 9 of us in there now. And they have lived here a lot of years, so they're kind of used to it as well. One of them just said that they kept their kids out of school today. I think maybe the kids go to kindergarten or like a young preschool kind of thing. Maybe they just didn't want them to dress them up and go out and bring them home and things like that. So the few that I do know, they kind of get on with life. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. You have the most comprehensible Australian English I've ever heard. Thank you. Yes, I do try to make sure that I'm saying things and pronouncing things more clearly for everybody. Happy New Year, bro. Thank you. I will send it to you and Jenny can read it. Lends well in English. Oh, thanks. Yes, I'll show her afterwards. Yeah, thanks for being admirable in the videos. May I please ask if you're going to film some luxurious grocery stores of the places you live in? It would be fascinating. Thanks for your content. Guillermo, I've filmed quite a lot of different supermarkets, but unfortunately the way the titling is, most of it's like Russian supermarket under sanctions, Russian regional supermarket under sanctions, and they're not specifically worded to the brand of the supermarket. But if you maybe look up on the channel, there's the one that I did at Globus Gourmet. Now, it's not Globus Hypermarket like I go to a lot, but Globus Gourmet. If you maybe type that somehow, there is that one. I would consider that one probably one of the more fancier ones in Moscow. Luxury grocery stores. That's probably the one that's... a Perlivka is watching. Archangel is watching. I think that's a Perlivka. Find and film a Russian silversmith. They occasionally have them at the Christmas markets, but they're not silversmiths. They're more like just metal smiths. I don't know what the word is for that. -10 in St. Petersburg. Oh, it's relatively balmy there. You'll be going out in t-shirts and shorts before you know it. Yeah, where I'm living in Spain, I was cold much more often. Yeah, it's like we have central heating on in here. We've got basically one in this room. There's a heated towel rail in the bathroom, underfloor heating. And then there's a central heating bar in the other room. We have basically a one-room apartment. But they're kind of quite big rooms. But yeah, it's 27.1 in the kitchen here. And that's without even having curtains here. If we had curtains for the window, kind of like we have thicker, like blackout curtains in our other room, and it would actually make the room even warmer. These are double glazed windows. I think they might be triple glazed, double glazed. So they're very good for heating. Yes. Thank you. 215 likes. I appreciate lots of likes. Thank you. Yeah, I do try to reply to as many comments as possible on the videos as well. It gets nearly impossible. I spend about an hour at least a day just replying to comments, but they just become too many too quickly to keep up. So I'm sorry if I've not answered a particular message. Dobra Kola is the best cold replacement. Yeah, I'm not as big a fan of it as I was initially. I mean, I won't, even though it's from the factory that made Coca-Cola and the same packaging, I find the Fanta is very, 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 very close, if not the same. The Dobra Kola, there's a very specific few ingredients that they don't have that was making Coca-Cola. Chernogolovka Cola for the win. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't love it as much as Baikal from Chernogolovka, but it felt like -45. Yes, yeah, that minus and then feels like temperature. Cosito is more like tea with the yerba mate poured in boiled water, regular. Yeah, I'm just not into all these teas with herbs and all these. My wife loves these. She's got the plunger where she, puts the tea leaves in and buys them at the local food market here. Azbuka from Azbuka Kuza. There is one video on the channel from Azbuka Kuza, but again, I've just not got. You need to go look through the channel to look at the thumbnails of the videos, because I do use the real thumbnail of the place. And the one of Azbuka Kuza and Globus Gourmet, I filmed at the same time. I put them a few days apart on the channel, but they were literally almost next door to each other in Moscow. So even more than original, yes. Yeah, I guess a lot of people kind of have found alternatives to Coca-Cola now, right? I mean, I did actually plan to go to my local shop because I can buy it literally walking distance from my house here. But I ended up at Food City, and I found far more types of cola from different countries than what I was expecting, that it kind of made the video long enough. Yeah, it's WhatsApp, and it's encrypted, right? Yeah, WhatsApp can be more laggy. Yeah, and WhatsApp goes down a lot too. So yeah, it's much more stable. I was in Victoria, BC, looking for whales. I've been to Victoria, Canada. Don't you want or check out southern Russia? Eventually we will. Eventually. No snow on the ground here. I'm in Michigan. What is your favorite day where you live? Like, what's my favorite thing to do? Or I can say I know I filmed a few things going to Red Square, and I know it's very cliche and very touristy, if you want to call it that, but my wife was working very close to there for quite a lot of years, near Kuznetsky Mosque, which is kind of the street that backs by the Bolshoi Ballet. And I walked around that place maybe 50,000 times. I used to quite often go to meet her after work and then catch the bus home with her and the train home together with her. So I'd always walk there a lot. And I just kind of continuously do that. Going for a walk there is something that I enjoy doing. It's weird that I can't get my wife to come and do that as much as I do it myself. So yes, if you want to join the channel, there's a membership option as well. Have a good evening. Thank you. Cube Content. I wonder if you make Lego videos. Yeah, we went to Zuzdal. I didn't make any videos there. I made one of the apartment that we rented, which was like an Airbnb style. I don't really like filming when I'm with friends. We were with some good friends for that weekend. We were there for 3 days, and I just don't feel comfortable as much filming, knowing that they might be in the film. Maybe they're in the corner, maybe they're in the background. So, and I I should have filmed because I was there and I was in the perfect opportunity to make videos of somewhere regional. Sam's Russian Adventure calls it provincial Russia. Do you guys call it provincial Russia rather than regional Russia? I just want to say thank you for I see here a donation alert. It comes like the super chats. They come instantly onto the channel here. I've noticed that Dobra Cola in bottles and cans is slightly different. In cans, it tastes 100% like Coca-Cola, not yet in bottles. That's interesting. The cans, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that it tastes slightly different. Yeah, I know there's a big thing with when you buy original Coca-Cola in a glass bottle, it tastes better than cans. Obviously, most of the Dobras come in plastic containers like this. So yeah, but that's interesting that it's slightly different. I wonder if there's a different composition because of the packaging. So thank you for the donation alert. That's very nice of you. Donation alerts works a little bit more effectively for me here in Russia because the way it pays out is the next calendar day. So where it's a donation today, it comes in my bank tomorrow, if that makes sense. Super chats basically come into the pool of YouTube, which is paid every calendar month, on the 21st of the month of each calendar month. Did I get that right? So yeah, thank you. I can't read your name, but maybe I'll copy and paste it so we can actually read it. Maybe you didn't want me to read your name out. You put everything else in English, so Victor. Oh, thank you, Victor. Was the last for tea. It's very nice of you to send donation alerts. Sorry. And if anyone is doing anything like this SberBank, I don't tend to look at this till later, so I'm sorry. Yes, are they making larders? Yes, Joseph Johnson. Yes, they are. Also, the Renault factory is working. They've just recently announced that they've sold the Mercedes factory to another company, but they've not announced who will be making the cars there. I know that Hyundai is reopened. They've returned. Hyundai cars have been made in Russia. There's a lot of manufacturing still going on. And now the non-working days of Christmas and New Year are over. Most people are getting back to work. So yes, ladders have never stopped. Then there's what's the Moscovich is the one that's at the Renault factory. I have a friend that works at that factory, so he sends me messages every now and again. Oof. I've got to say oof not oofa. Sorry. Are you not frozen? I'm okay, Pavel. I'm okay with the cold weather. I mean, like going out yesterday. I've still got to go out, right? We went to friends the day before. I mean, I dress up. I wear the appropriate clothes. So it's not a struggle to do something. I mean, obviously, it's nicer to stay in the kitchen and do a live stream rather than go out and film something. But that's the kind of the perils of YouTube, right? I mean, I could probably be here every night live for an hour or two if people wanted me to do it every night. So, Arthur, thank you for also donation alerts. Here is a Coke for your work. Thanks, Arthur. That's very nice. Actually, I've got kind of the idea now, and that this Iranian Coke, I think I should do a head-to-head Coke tasting. I mean, obviously the natural thing would be to taste the derivatives of cola in Russia and taste Baikal next to Coca-Cola. But just the fact that this is from Iran. I mean, when I made the video of that car, of the Iranian car, they got so many views. And, I was kind of in shock because coming from Australia and the fact that Iran was under a lot of sanctions, North Korea, all of the other countries that you can say, that are considered friendly with Russia or unfriendly with everyone else. It's like a reverse now. And I shouldn't be surprised that, there is Iranian products. I mean, I go to the Svetofor, is the traffic light, is one of the cheap stores here. And they've got Iranian kitchenware stuff. They do import things from the countries that are supporting each other, right? So thank you, Arthur. And thank you. Yes. Here's a Coke. Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's the money that comes through this is basically either for buying lunch, buying Coca-Cola, or paying for my bus and metro fare to go to make videos. I don't really go out and have lavish days out when I go filming. I go somewhere. Typically, I'll have a lunch and I'll come home. Up to -30 is perfectly reasonable, right? Yeah, I think once you're at that 30 to 40 to 50, you kind of, you're in a region of Russia where it's definitely that cold a lot more, and you have a better plan around living under that kind of colder weather. Do you have a car? I don't have a car, no. I had one in Australia. I had a Hyundai Getz, which my wife didn't like me owning, but it was the best car. It didn't need any maintenance. My dad changed the oil, did the tires. I just put petrol in it, and it ran and ran and ran and ran. And I probably should never have got rid of it. It should be sitting in my dad's garage now, but yes. I lives in Nova's birthday. YouTube. Yes, Russia guy. Actually, finally. There's actually a whole 4 or 5 different channels between the whole family, and I don't know his name now. Not Russia guy. It's like the brother-in-law of the Russia guy. He's now in our YouTubers group on Telegram, and I've chatted to him separately as well because we're from the same region in Australia, so we've got a very similar kind of background. So yeah, after how many years that I've known that they were here, I finally made contact with. I sent messages to them all to join the group, and he checked his email. He probably never checked his email to know that I sent him an invite. So first live stream. Hello, Joe. Good to see you live. I hope the video and the sound is all good. It's -3 there where you are. Vacationing outside of Russia in the near future? If so, how challenging is it to secure flights? My wife wants us to go to Australia. We've talked about March or April, going there. We actually planned to fly to Bali, to Indonesia. There is definitely plenty of flights with Qatar Airways, with Emirates Airways, with Etihad Airways, which is the kind of ones that fly through the Middle East. Obviously, the prices of flights have gone up a lot all around the whole world recently. I mean, everybody knows that everywhere has gone up in price. Yeah, we can get flights. We just have to find the right timing. Most of the timing of the flights is around school holidays times, like flights to Bali, for instance, tend to go up and down depending on school holidays. A lot of Australians go there. So the plan would be to go there for a few weeks and then fly to Australia from Bali to Perth, back to Bali again, to fly back to Russia. And I'd really like to make videos there, of course, right? You need to add an item to the survey. Winter, summer person. There are most of them in Russia. Yes, well, that's the whole thing, right? I mean, the poll was just basically not too scientific, but it's still pretty close, 47% to 53%, with 533 votes. So, yeah, the point was, sometimes if I put 4 options, then someone's going to say, I don't like any of them, and I want a 5th option. So if I give you 2 options, people want 3 options. So, are there any real estate agencies here? Oh, that would be interesting, Hi, if there is, because I kind of want to make videos showing some apartments here or houses, and I'd love to meet one. Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, you see that one Coca-Cola has left, and 5 new ones have appeared. It's true. Yeah, the shops are fuller than they were. Depending on the store you go to, some of the chain stores have contracts with every brand because they never did. They probably heavily relied on Pepsi and Coke as their main brands of the store. So even like Globus, for instance, doesn't have a particularly improved selection. They had a lot of Russian brands already anyway, like 2 aisles. So there's still a lot, only 2 aisles of sodas. So yeah, there's more than there was, I think. I mean, personally, you wouldn't just walk in and simply see Coke or everything else. Now you're seeing everything else, right? Then when you didn't notice it as much before. Why did I move to Russia? My wife? Mass transport prices up. Yeah, the metro is now 50 rubles if you've got the Troika card. Was it 47 before? Every January it goes up a couple of rubles anyway. So it's not unexpected, but it's going to go down to -42 tomorrow. Wow. I kind of thought about this. Like, I'd really like to go to this Yakuta just for this -50 or -60, but look, -25 or 30 in Moscow probably wouldn't feel that much different. Just the fact that it's more remote of a place. Yeah, so my regional bus hasn't changed prices that I catch from here to go to the metro line hasn't gone up. I'm not sure about the train. I've not caught the train in a couple of weeks now. I've got to walk further to the train station than I have to the bus stop, so that's why I catch the bus a lot more. But the bus hasn't changed in price. Please show rural Russia. Yeah, I guess Buck Fizard, I know you've commented on other videos before. If you check out Sam's Russian Adventures, I keep getting his channel name wrong. He's filmed a ton of stuff where he lives in Vladimir. And becoming a part of a video. Arthur, yes. Actually, now the last few times that I've filmed videos, when I did the one in Himki, in Mega Himki, not Kimki, I had definitely one guy come up to me and say hello to me. Another guy, he asked for a photo, so I imagine he might be a subscriber, but he didn't mention it, so I don't know the second guy who he was. But my wife, when we were out shopping a few weeks ago at Globus, one guy said hello to me. He casually said, "Oh, hello, Russell," and I'm in Russia. How does someone know my name? And how would? And again, another subscriber to the channel. So, Russian coins and currency. Now, I've been to if anyone's from Moscow, there is a certain small shopping center that's kind of dedicated to coins and currency. It's kind of like a collector's shopping center, like with collector's shops. And I was more curious because I saw a lot of Australian coins and notes there. It is only used by foreigners and in foreign movies. Glebinka would be a better word. I'll have to ask Sam now this, because he says provincial a lot in his videos. I didn't ask for videos of Zuzda. I'll just want to know your thoughts. Different culture to yours. I'd like to see Australia, but it's too far. Sorry. Yeah, no, I think maybe I got the question mixed up before there. But yeah, we've been Zuzdal. I really enjoyed. I mean, when I get to go meet Sam, when I come to see him, we are still every other day sort of deciding when it works out good for us to come and meet up together. About 2 hours by train. Yeah, I've seen quite a few like stories on Zen about Kolma. Kazansky railway station, very old Russian city with an old town and some interesting sightings. Thanks. Yeah, I've seen quite a few Zen posts about this place. Yes, yeah, this is probably the good Joe explanation. Yeah, the Russian American Coke, which is high fructose corn syrup, versus Coca-Cola from Mexico, which has got cane sugar or sugar. When I was on the cruise ships, I was buying in Mexico in the glass bottles, big glass bottles, and they'd actually have a refund on them, so I'd take them back the following week and get money back. Nishki Novgorod is minus 35. Russians very much do say province. There we go. Yeah, Yaroslavl is only 1,011 years old. Yes. That's one thing, actually, somebody asked me about this, about the differences. And I talked about how Australia's only 200 years old and Russia's 1,000 years old. And that 700 years of, 800 years of additional history is just crazy to think how much happened in those 800 years. Whereas Australia's history of 200 years is not a lot, so to speak, right? Mexican Coke rocks. Does Russia have a cheese that is aged like an English cheddar? I don't really personally buy cheeses. My wife does. She does tend to prefer the cheeses at the local markets more than the ones at the supermarkets. Hyundai have not only reopened the plant in Kaliningrad region, but they are going to drastically expand. Now, this is directly from someone working there. Yes, thanks. Yeah, the same with my friend that works at the Renault factory about the Moscoviches. I saw a press tour that there was all the press made photos there. If I could have possibly got on that tour, that would have been cool. It would be great content. Last time I heard about this, Kreshny, they had one nearby Prelivka somewhere, I don't know where, but I ended up finding out about it a few days later. And it's very hard to find information about these different events that they've got going on. And that's my only downfall of trying to go to these things in Russia. Lada's factory, yes. They sell Iranian Miranda at my local shawarma shop. It's so good. I think it's because of the kind of sugar. Right. That's the thing, right? The real sugar versus the fructose corn syrup of the, I guess, the other imported Miranda. Yeah, probably when I went to Food City, I was really just focused on Coke when I went there, but I should have looked at some of the Pepsis. And it's interesting in these little tiny shops that they knew the regions that the Coke was from. So I would imagine there's a lot more people recently going there and asking where the Coke is from, especially when you walk down the aisles and just see pallets and pallets and pallets of it. They've got a lot of taxis in Jamaica. I never noticed that. I walk a lot in Jamaica when I got off the cruise ship. I was never really getting a taxi somewhere. Yeah, what would the wife say? Yeah, she wants me to drink less sodas, not more. I was asking whether there was some private grocery stores like family ones or boutiques. I think that was Bukakuzang are huge chains that. Yeah, so as Globus Gourmet is only a few shops in all of Russia, I think, that are very specifically luxury supermarkets or markets. As Bukakuza is more of a chain brand, but it is more upmarket compared to other chain supermarkets. Private grocery stores, I guess you mean maybe like more like mum and pop style places. A lot of them, even where I live, aren't very inducive to me filming things. Even in that where I filmed the Coca-Cola video, literally at the last, it's kind of a fun story because the last bit that I filmed when I just finished was the bit this is the bit where I voiced over. I had to voice over because for some reason the microphone didn't work, and then the security came over, and I had to do the voiceover in the editing at the end. And the security is like, "Oh, you can't." Like the guys that I happened to be with, who I met on the bus at the beginning of the video, they said, "Oh, we've got problems. They want to call it administration." And then for some reason, the security guard says, "Oh, come back on Monday." This is like when was there, on Friday or Thursday? And we were like, "Okay, we'll come back on Monday." And we left. We were leaving anyway, literally. And I just saw this other last pallet of Coca-Cola. So, yeah, some places just don't like you filming. The real stuff cans, bottles made with high. Yeah, why it tastes different. Right. VR, thanks. Hello from Denmark. Hello, Christian. Sorry. Keep thinking of Tony Cruz. I'm wondering why they have not made a few more runs of them. Iranian Jeeps. Yeah, when I went to that car show last year, there was literally just cars there, and it was mostly parts and spare parts. That seems to be the big draw at the moment with the car exhibitions and shows, is the importing of parts for cars or for aftermarket parts. That seems to be kind of the thing versus just the cars in general. How about doing apartment tours? Yes, that was a plan a while ago. My wife won't even let me film in our apartment. It would need to be kind of spick and span, beyond spick and span, for her to let me film in here. I wanted to film just in our apartment just for a video. But I'm trying to find a real estate agent who would let me just go with them for a little while and film, just go and film things. Chebushka. I'm not sure of the new film. I think this is the cartoon. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I haven't seen this film. I saw that it done like crazy amounts of money and takings. We just watched the stuff over New Year, so and we want to figure out trying to go see Avatar 2. Popping out in places. There's a Russian expression. Special place is never empty. Sveta met. I don't know this expression, but special place is never empty. How are the iPhones available? Yeah, this is basically parallel importing. So they're just coming through other countries to get to Russia. So actually, when you go to buy them or ask about them, they even have the iPhones from one country or another country in some stores, depending on where you go to look. When I went to go buy my phone, even at the Samsung store, the guy said there's two different prices. So if you want Russian warranty or international warranty, because the fact that the phones are parallel imported. But yeah, they're definitely in all the shops. Your polls might be more scientific than in the West. Yeah, I love doing the polls on the community tab of the channel as well. I find that very interesting. Yeah, parallel importing. Yeah, Kazakhstan, Dubai, Turkey. Hi from Russia. Blood Coda. Minus 30, 35. I know it's warm at home. I love the real Russian winter and frost. Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? You can kind of sit at home like this. You know, the heating's on, nice and warm in the house, and not feel like it's cold outside, right? Unless you go outside. No, we probably won't buy a car in Russia because we don't overly need one. I mean, it would be nice on the weekends to drive somewhere, like where we went to our friends for New Year, drive there and back. But I find I don't need it nearly as much as I would have used it in Australia, as I'd have a car in Australia. YouTube unsubscribed me from your channel. I watch your videos from the very start of it. That's interesting, Nick. Maybe because you were not watching them for a little while, or you weren't recommended them. That's strange. Yeah, there's always these strange things with YouTube that nobody can ever work out. Yeah, the place with the coins and Australian coins. Yeah, and they even had phone cards as well. And they had lots of, mostly notes and coins and currencies. But they had phone cards there. It was a pretty, actually, Real Moscow Projects, who is a moderator in the channel. She told me about this place to go there. She recommended that I visit. Gubinka. It's Vladimir is not. It's provincial. Yeah, I think that's probably why he says it a lot in his channel. It may upset Sam and the Vladimir citizens. Belaz, Kamaz, Maz. Yeah, when I went to the bus expo, there was all the different names like this Kamaz and Balaz and Gaz, Maz, Baz. Film the Russian Zoo. Probably not a good time to go now. It might be a bit chilly to go in the winter. I don't know if they're even open in winter, are they? I wonder. How's the weather there? Yeah, it's cold. Oh, it's cool. Minus 19 outside my window. And then 27 inside. I don't know where the 1% humidity. I've never really looked at that humidity thing before. It says 1% there. Yeah, there are non-chain stores, pavilions with fruit and vegetables. Yeah. I keep wanting to go to my local one to film. I spoke to the security there because they know me, right? They've seen me more than enough at that place to do a one at my local Rinuk. I keep getting confused. Some people call it yarmulke and some people call it Rinuk, and I can't understand what the difference between a yarmulke and a Rinuk is, but still making a US change to syrup in the 90s. Should I come to Russia for my studies during the all situations going on? I mean, I don't see why not. Honestly, I think a lot of news has been over exaggerated about the situation. You know, obviously there was events that happened in February, March, April. Supposedly on New Year, there was stuff going on in Moscow, which I didn't hear or see anything about, but Dostoevsky. I've heard of Dostoevsky. I've heard of him. I've read about him. I've not heard about the film, but I know about him. Yeah, all the ruble coins. Yeah, that's the only thing with going to these coin expos and coin events like that shopping center there. I just don't know what I'm looking at. I'd just be like, wow, 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 which is what I'm always like when I film, right? Family business stores are a thing here. Yeah, I guess. I mean, if I can we don't really have any in a Prelivka. That's the whole thing. I see them on other people's videos. We don't really have like that corner store, like the mum and pop sort of stores here in a Prelivka where I am. We've really just got the chain stores. Hello, MDX1M Max. Are you planning to learn Russian? I'm trying to learn a few words at a time. Just like being filmed too. Right, that's very true, Pirhom. Yes, they don't like that you're trying to make them look good or bad, or they don't know really. That's very, very true. Don't film my apartment. Let's pretend to be shopping for a new apartment and go with a realtor. Yes. We just need to find someone that's comfortable with us doing that. I just need to see it on IMAX. Yeah, we can see. You can go and see Avatar 2 here unofficially at the cinemas. Yeah, Luzhniki Stadium during a big event. Yeah, I guess now at the moment, this next couple of months, there's nothing going on there, but I've walked around there quite a lot as well. That sports park, it's the same metro line that I would catch going into Moscow. So I'm from Arkansas. Hello, Orlean. Good to see you. Hopefully I will be. Hopefully I'll be in St. Petersburg. Yeah, it does unsubscribe people. Literally became machine learning playgrounds, weird stuff happening. Do you know why Kamaz, Biaz, and similar end in AZ? Someone explained it to me, but I just didn't get the grasp of it. It's something to do with the factories or the ownership or something or other. I remember them explaining it to me. No, I don't watch really any television. I really watch just things on YouTube or streaming television. Oh, there we go. Yarmulke is temporary. Rynok is permanent. So why do they call that one where we live a yarmulke? It's been there for the whole 9 years I've lived here. 10 years. That's interesting that they call it yarmulke, but it's really permanently there. That's fun. Thank you. I didn't know that difference now. That makes complete sense. Holiday occasion, Rynok markets are more permanent. Oh, yarmulke is a fair. So I wonder why they called the one in Prelivka yarmulke. No, there's no temporary one here or a fair style thing here. Could it be due to the appreciation of the dollar? Does inflation affect me? Look, in terms of my day-to-day living and my wife's and what we buy at the stores, I mean, things have gone up in price. In Australia, things have gone up in price. My mum will tell you the same story. She'll tell you the price of a can of beans, what it's gone up in price, or the can of, I don't know, peas and carrots or whatever you would buy. And prices have gone up, yes. I mean, have they gone up crazy amounts? I would say not. I mean, there's still things on special. You can still get bargains. You can still shop around. You can still go to different yarmulkes and Rynoks to buy things. What my wife and I tend to buy very, very typically for the last year or more that we've been here and this channel, the prices have gone up, but not a lot. I mean, comparing it against the dollar, the Australian dollar is clawing its way back to how it was before February last year. Believe it or not, the dollar's actually improved in the last few weeks. So I kind of really don't compare against the Aussie dollar anymore because it's hard to do that in your head. Because I'll tell you one thing. Now, this is interesting. So for anybody that does give donations, donation alerts, super chats, it basically helped me get this phone, right, which I'm filming the videos with now, the fancy cameras right here. And we, just for fun today, I looked up the price in Australia. We've got somebody coming from Australia to Russia next month. And I'm going to get them to bring my new credit cards over. My old ones have expired now. So my Mum said, is there anything else you want to? We're going to have to give it to another lady who's giving it to another lady who's bringing it here. And I thought we could look up the price of another phone. And the actual phone in Russia was 9,000 rubles. It was less than 10,000, 9,000 rubles cheaper in Russia than it was in Australia. And I kind of thought that it was probably a couple of $100 more in Russia, comparing dollar for dollar, but it's actually cheaper, believe it or not. So 9,000 rubles. So that's $210 or $20 cheaper here in Russia for this phone that I bought than it would be in Australia at the store. If I walked in there, like I walked in and bought this. My wife bought it, by the way. I didn't buy it. She's the majority owner of the phone, along with you guys as people that have done donations. Thank you. I just noticed too that 1776, I know you were in the channel before, has done the buy me a Coke or buy me a coffee. Thank you very much for this way of helping the channel. It just that gets sent to me in an email, by the way. My email just popped up. So maybe you just did that in the last 5 minutes. Thank you very much. Why you chose Russia? Are you planning to leave? I've kind of gone through this a lot, Griff. At the moment, we're not planning to leave. We're planning to take a holiday to Australia, hopefully in March or April. The reason we're doing it a lot of months from now is we're saving up to go on that holiday. I think everyone saves up to go on a holiday, right? It's like a plan to do that. There are electric buses there. Yes, one of my very first videos on the channel was showing the, I guess they're kind of dual fuel. They're not 100% electric. They have basically electric, whatever, two fuel systems. Yes, they've got the charging stations around Moscow. Very cool. Yes. Till Sobyanin became a mayor, a lot of the kiosks were given over to state-run news agencies. Yeah, I remember years ago that there was these, especially the ones at the train stations, the metro stations, the little kind of booths, these little tiny looking booths that there's still a few around, but not nearly as many. He kind of cleaned up Moscow, so to speak. Kiosks just didn't comply with the state regulations. Yeah, I guess that's a problem, right? I mean, there's a lot of people that want to live now with, you could say, hygiene standards, with, you know, co-checking of the best befores of products, the temperatures of the fridges. Thank you. You do good content. Thank you. V8M. Thank you. I think you replied to one of the comments on one of the videos. Well, there you go. AZ is, oh, there we go. Auto and factory. It's auto and factory. Thanks. Automobilini and Zavod. Colleagues might not be accredited for transferring. It's literally factory where it says in Russia, nothing is more permanent than nothing is more permanent than, well, there is a saying in Russia, nothing is more permanent than temporary. Yes. It's like closing down soon, or we have that in Australia, closing end of contract sale, or closing down, and they'll be closing down for years. Let's go sell things on the yarmulke. I would make a good salesman at a yarmulke. I would. There you go. Vaz is Volk. Oh my gosh. Belaz, Povlak. Oh yeah, I guess that's the different places, right? Or different regions. What is worse? What is worse, a threat of being eaten by a spider or a kangaroo, or minus 30 degrees? Spider, I think. Kangaroo is no problems. You're not going to get hurt by a kangaroo. That would be stupidly unlucky. You'd be, I guess it's like Steve Irwin getting, you know, how did he die? He got a barb from a stingray in his body, right? Getting eaten by a crocodile. Yeah, definitely spider bites, because most of the time you won't know what you're bitten by. And if you don't know what it was and you can't get to the hospital and can't get the anti-venom, you're gone, basically. Yes, definitely spider bites versus -30. I mean, people don't go out here unprepared for the weather. People don't not dress correctly. Even like yesterday, for instance, even at the train station, at the bus stations, people are dressed up. They're not going out willy-nilly, where in other countries where it's just got cold for a cold snap, people may not have the right kind of clothes. People have definite winter clothes here, definite summer clothes. Yarmulke. Yes, yarmulke. Yes, okay, my dentist says that at the goods. Just a heads up. Yeah, about the credit card, right. Yeah, it's just going to be basically an envelope. That's all. It's just near impossible to get it here otherwise. It is impossible to get it here otherwise. So comply with state regulations. Oh, hybrid. Yes. The buses are hybrid. Thank you, VR. Yes, that's what they are. Good to see you're well. Thank you. Thank you, Sam. Wants to make sure you did not freeze last week and that you're doing well. Thanks, Dimitri. Yes. Well, it's still cold. It was colder a few days ago, but it's still cold outside. I didn't go outside today. My wife wanted to know why I didn't. I woke up and everything was charged battery-wise. And I didn't end up going. Then I kind of had the plan. I'll do the live stream instead. So you can kind of make up for it. Thank you, by the way. Again, 335 likes. Thank you for people that have done buy me a Coke, coffee, super chats, people that have done donation alerts. It's very, very nice of you. Do you like sweets? Can you name some specific Russian brands that you'd recommend? I don't really eat the Russian candy. I'm a very boring person. I eat Alpine Gold. I eat Bounty. I don't think this is from Belarus. This is chips. Actually, my wife must have opened these mega chips from Belarus. They're basically flat Pringles. That's not candy. I really don't eat any of the Russian sweets. My wife buys them like the pay-by-weight things, but I'm not really into any of them, so I'm sorry. Soda that was... it sold me a Coke that was soda that was expired for 2 years. Wow. That's crazy. 25 is not that bad. In Canada, we get -40, sometimes 56. Yes. I guess a lot of the eastern part of Russia as well. Look, it's on the same parallel, right? So that same weather conditions is kind of pretty relevant. Is there a subscriber Patreon or Boosty channel to be created in the future where some extra content, some people might feel like it'd be more comfortable and secure to support? Boosty is kind of linked with donation alerts, but I've never kind of added. I don't want to keep adding and have too many different options. I know it makes sense. I guess the channel membership is an option, or where people do super chats or donation alerts. It's an option. This Boosty thing, I know that it's possible, but I'm just not bothered to do more different things. I know Patreon is very much spoken about a lot. Patreon is an option where you can pay per video to watch a video versus just basically supporting the channel generally. Itching to give me some Russian lessons. Thanks. Yeah, PayPal is an option, I guess. What are the things you like most and least in Russia so far? It's kind of hard to what do I like least? I don't like people pushing in the bus. When the bus is full, it's full. That's it. No more one more person in the bus. there's a lot of silly things that I don't like that kind of bug me. That really are something that shouldn't worry me at all. Just get on the bus and go home. But just where they wanted one more person, and we have a small bus that brings to my town here. This really small marshrutka, and that bothers me. It's not really things that I like least or most. I mean, I'm kind of happy. I don't need a lot of things to make me happy. There's not a lot of things that I need in my life that make me better as a person. Okay, finally getting this phone with the better camera and the better lens, the better storage makes me happy. It's just funny though that, you'd think it's cheaper in a non-sanctioned country, and it's $200 more in Australia. I mean, how is that possible? That bothers me, funnily enough. I like the fact that, many things bother them here or worry them, or, the country is so big, there isn't really news that everybody knows. People get a lot of their news from social media, from Telegram groups, from online social medias and things like that versus mainstream media. That's a good answer or not. With my dad, except he's becoming Australian somehow. Thank you. That's interesting. Cheers for that. Hello. Russian candy is very sweet, isn't it? I don't really have enough candy to kind of, especially, I'm really honestly happy with the bar of Alpine Gold. My wife thinks it's very boring of me to like the plain, normal, cheap chocolate, but I kind of just like the classic milk chocolate. Yes, definitely tried Chernogolovka. Yeah, we talk about this a lot on the channel. The Baikal and the Mandarin one. I don't have any Mandarin one. I don't have any backstock. That's my only bottle at the moment of soda in the house, so I'm doing very bad. Yes, definitely the Baikal and the Mandarin version. I don't know what they call that, orange. Do you have Coca-Cola and orange juice in the background? An analog of Fanta? Yes, I do. Yeah, that's real. Look, this is the question from that Coca-Cola video, and I asked it again at the end of the video. That, Coca-Cola essentially is a company that produces Coca-Cola all around the world in factories, or it's bottled for Coca-Cola. So the Coca-Cola that was in Russia was made at a factory, kind of essentially under license for Coca-Cola. It happens to be the same factory now that is producing the Dobra brand of drinks. So the Dobra Orange essentially is what Fanta was. The Coca-Cola is from Iran. This particular one's from Iran. Depending on where you go shopping for it here, you can get it from Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan. If you watch the Coca-Cola video, I showed Belgium, Poland, Turkey. So it's still original Coca-Cola if it's from a factory that made Coca-Cola, and then it was brought to Russia and kind of essentially imported here. In Australia, for instance, actually in America is a good example. They've got RC Cola, and they've got RC Cola here as well in Russia. But it's not as talked about like it is here with what's gone on. Because it's either Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or there's the off-brands, or they call them off-brands, or private label brands. So, if you want a cheaper version of Coca-Cola, you would buy an off-brand. It's still cola, it's still drinkable, you're still okay with it, but it's not the original Coca-Cola. So, do I miss life in Australia? Not really. I'm slowly less missing it. Thank you for the donation alerts. How did you feel in the last 4 days when it was minus 23 to 30 frost? Did you have a walk on such cold frost? Yes, yesterday. Well, was definitely minus 20 plus yesterday. I went to Gorky Park. I went on my own there. I went there intentionally to make a video, and I filmed nothing. I took 2 photographs, and I was a bit disappointed. It was cold, but I wasn't uncomfortable walking with the cold weather. The day before we went to friends for New Year, for Russian Christmas, and I didn't feel uncomfortable with the cold weather going there. We were mostly inside a lot anyway that day getting there, but we still had to use public transport there and back. I'm fine with the cold weather. I kind of feel it more for people that have problems with their car that won't start. I've got a car park downstairs from where I live here. So you can see people kind of struggling in the morning or the evening with their cars, where people have to work outside and they don't have a choice. Obviously, they understand the weather. The street workers here have all of the gear on. They're not underdressed for it. So thank you. I'm just going to see what your... because I can't read your name again. Paste. I should know what A is. Game. I guess you've just put game as your name. Thank you for the donation alerts. Let me not close that program. That would be very crazy if I close that. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was fine with it. I prefer probably somewhere -5, -10, where it's just easier to kind of get out and about and do things. Russia doesn't stop though when it gets cold. In Australia, we actually have a heat index where it gets over 40 degrees. And depending on the school that you might be in, they may stop classes for the kids because it's too hot. Or some businesses that work outdoors don't work once it gets over a certain temperature. So yeah, it's kind of like the opposite in Australia. Do I miss life in Australia? Yeah, I've been outside of Australia in the last 20 or more years, more than I've been in Australia. I was working on cruise ships before I met my wife. So it's kind of, I've been less in Australia than I've really been in other countries. So yeah, Pringles they have Alestra. Is it Alestra in the Pringles? Make your own chocolate too. Yeah, Alestra is the thing that makes you go to the toilet. I think is maybe like a laxative that they put in Pringles, don't they? Colder than my freezer. Yeah, -34. Yeah, when we had our other apartment, we had a loggia or a balcony. This apartment doesn't have one. And the balcony on that apartment wasn't heated, or the floor wasn't. So we'd call it Moscow fridge. So you could basically put any food out there, anything you want out there, and it would stay colder than the fridge or the freezer. So you put a lot, especially over Christmas, you put all the leftover foods out there to keep cold. Parts is climate and most parallels don't work. Easter parts is farther from hot Gulf Stream. I'm not sure. Have I eaten Tula gingerbread? I probably have, not recently, a few years ago. My wife is forever getting me to taste different foods. I probably don't know it specifically though. Dobra Fanta, yes. Yeah, thanks, Arthur. Yeah, donation alerts is easiest in Russia. YouTube membership is easiest outside of Russia. Right. That's very right. Very correct. Zangiv. With such a name of the stream, you should have... With such a name of the stream, you should have streamed outside. Yeah, I thought about that when I was at Gorky Park yesterday. And then I could barely hold the camera. So I don't know how I'd be going about using my phone to properly stream. Thank you for coming into the stream, Zangiv. Zangiv has a YouTube channel, everybody, if you want to check it out. It's, again, it's content created in English. He has a very nice family. He shows them in some of his videos. Happy New Year. Yes. Yeah. Do I like? I do like swimming. Yes. I've not swum in a while though. Kreshny is coming soon. Nikolai. Yeah. I just need to find out about when they do it and where they do it. Communicate Russian with English speaking foreigners. Thank you, Life Walker. Thank you. Nice to meet you. One of the best sweets from Russia is Korov. They're huge factories in Russia. Moscow region near Odintsova. Oh, I know there's the Red October factory that makes chocolates as well. By the way, it's cancelled in Kazakhstan. Yes, I saw that in the news that they were having, because I think a lot of the ingredients were brought from Russia, and they're now going to have, well, they're sort of saying it's down to logistics that was going to cause a problem with McDonald's continuing in Kazakhstan. Oh, the RC Cola was imported from Georgia, the Caucasian one. Thank you. Been curious about visiting Australia for many years now. Yeah, it's a matter of setting a date 1 or 2 years from now and making a plan of going and going. I say that about people who, when I was working on the cruise ships, people talked about Australia a lot. And I said, just make a date 2 years from now, plan that kind of holiday time to go and do it and do it, What is harder, to go travel to Australia or New Zealand? New Zealand's much smaller. It's much more accessible. A lot of people tend to get car rentals or camper van rentals and drive around New Zealand. Australia is massively bigger. So, and geographically, the distances, it's kind of like Perth to Sydney would be like flying halfway across Russia. Well, halfway across. So New Zealand's much easier to travel around and a lot more closer together. Anthony, how's it going? It's been a while since I was able to join a live stream. Thank you. I was ice swimming Saturday when it was minus 35. It was really an energy boost. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like where you go in, even in banyas, right? That hot to cold. What do they call them? Polar plunges. Wishing the channel growth and you personally respect for your work. Thank you. Bale gas. Extending a handshake of friendship. Thank you. From Krasnoyarsk. Thank you very much. School stops 2 here if it gets too risky. Well, that's interesting. Cities like Norilsk even has the funny system. The colder is, the older students go to school because it's cancelled so much. That's funny. That's definitely interesting. Right, they've missed so much school in winters that they've got to stay an extra couple of years. Are there art and trade schools here? I imagine there are. I don't know, but I imagine there would be. I live in Russia. Minus 25 is childish game. Minus 36 when I almost frostbit my fingers is a real talk. Yes. It's called Sprint. Frostbite fun. Sorry, I'm just reading through the comments here. And you guys are chatting to each other, so it makes it easier, so I can skip over. How can you manage all that? What's your main job? This is really my main job. So where people watch videos like yourself, or you're watching other videos on the channel, might be inside Russia. If you're not, obviously, there's no ad revenue from Russian views. The channel has gone down considerably in the last 6 months, particularly since I appeared on Russian television. It wasn't helpful in terms of the percentage of Russian viewers has gone up, which is a good thing. I mean, the channel is growing. There's more viewers. There's more comments. There's more of a community created. So I like that. Definitely like that, especially on the Telegram channel. We're talking about, Discord before as well. So I like the fact that people are kind of getting a bit closer to each other, friendship-wise, of course. So yeah, so anything that's sort of involving YouTube is what I'm doing here. So, more sheep and a better rugby team. It'll be controversial forever, that, I think. New Zealand sheeps are cuter also. In Ufa is minus 40. Wow. Have you tried making pelmeni? My wife hasn't made it. No. When we went to her auntie's in Ufa, her auntie was making it when we were there. So we had real pelmeni versus the one from the frozen section at the supermarket. So no, I've never tried to personally make it. Oh, look at that. I'm at the bottom of the chat. When I was a kid, they were cancelling elementary school when the temperature hit minus 31. So we rushed outside to enjoy another day off. Yeah, right. It's like the same in Australia when it gets to like that 40-degree temperature. It's really crazy now because in Perth, for instance, there's different zones in the city which have different heat indexes, which nobody can ever possibly understand how the government came to that. That, if you live 20 kilometers away from another school, they get to go home and you're still there. It's kind of how they figure that out, I don't know. But if you were lucky enough to get a day off school for heat index. Yeah, we've never tried to make... my wife's made them not at home here. She's made them at families' houses. When we went the other day, our friends for New Year or Christmas, her mum makes it as well. A lot of mums make it. It's currently 52 in Yakutia. Are you there in Yakutia though? A lot of people. I don't think is there anybody on the channel from Yakutia? I'm sure I've seen somebody before in the chat. I love my channel. Love your channel. Thank you. Love your channel. What's your favorite food and drink in Russia? I don't really drink a lot of beer. So like when we had the Christmas meal the other day, I had compote. We had champagne, of course, but we talked about pilmeni there. I really don't mind having pilmeni. Tonight we had pasta for dinner, which is very un-Russian. Pasta's more Italian than Russian. We had pasta for dinner tonight. So, yeah, I think pilmeni with some ketchup, tomato sauce. Isn't it the bachelor's dinner, right? I saw somebody say that it's the bachelor's dinner. Deal pelmeni out there, yes, where they make the little... There is a couple of little food markets here where you can see them making it in the store or in the kitchen area and so on like that. Little pelmeni is from... Perpici is from Udmurtia. Capital. Oh my gosh, I can never get any of these words right. There are lots of types of pelmeni. Yeah. Yeah, people wearing clothes like it's minus 25 when it's only minus 5. Yeah, I did notice that walking in Moscow yesterday and the day before, that you'll see one person just with very classic just winter clothes and the next person's wrapped up like it's minus 50. And there's people that are wearing extremely different clothing, even though it's the same temperature outside. Minus 1 in St. Petersburg tomorrow. Yeah, I think that cold front's kind of moving over. And I think the fact that St. Petersburg is farther west. Oh, he made butter chicken. That's one of my favorite favorite Indian dishes. Butter chicken. Oh, butter chicken and some rice. Oh my gosh. They make that on the cruise ship a lot because of the fact there's a lot of Indian crew, Indonesian, Filipino. Butter chicken is good. But it's one of the coldest places in the world, right? Yes, I watched a brief video today about this area and them showing like how they wash their clothes in winter and things like that. But I live in a small town in the middle of nowhere, and I'm literally the only foreigner here. Hello, здравствуйте. If you want to look me up on Telegram, we do have a kind of an expats group that I have. You're welcome to kind of join that with us. Holidays. Yes, I don't like holidays. Or holidays. Holidays. My wife loves it, and I don't like it. There's just something about it that's just weird. Jelly should be sweet and with fruit, not with meat. Would you live for a while? Are we going to go on holiday? For now, the plan is to stay here indefinitely. For now. My wife does change her mind every few days, though. And then today we're trying to find an apartment in this building where we live that's a bit bigger than the one we're in. And we're kind of hoping that one will pop up for sale versus to rent. And then it's obviously a bit more of a commitment to staying here then, of course. But my wife does have Australian residency, so that's open to her for us to go back. Do you know about surprise pilmeni and verikiniki? I don't know about surprise one, no. I guess maybe the ingredients are not what they're meant to be. Do you have a favorite Russian dish? My wife's Olivia salad or winter salad. That's probably my favorite dish. She does it with chicken. So it's basically like a potato salad with chicken. I think that's probably my favorite dish. She makes a huge container of it, and I just almost just spoon it straight out of the container. It's probably the least correct way to eat it. I don't know about kizil. Oh, there you go. Store-made holidays is truly cringe. Homemade is much better. That's probably why. Maybe I've eaten the wrong one. Plov, shawarma, salad. Yeah, shawarma. I don't mind having a shawarma every now and again. I've not had one in a while, actually. Plov, my wife makes at home. Olivia salad, yes. I think that's what you're talking about. Salad Olivier. Yeah, salad or winter salad or potato salad. I'm Russian, but never was a fan of haladiets too. Fried pilmeni are yummy though. Fried pilmeni. Yeah, my wife just boils it. She puts a few bay leaves in and a few something else in. She puts some different spices in there with it in the water, basically. Who drinks green? Oh, Avok. Hello. Oh, by the way. Types of soup, Russian ones or not, doesn't matter. Yeah, my wife makes. Actually, I think we've still got some on the pan here. We've got some borscht soup, which is the beetroot. It's with cabbage, beetroot, and then beef. The one that we've got is the beef borscht. So she'll make it differently sometimes. Sometimes chicken, sometimes beef, sometimes pork. But this one is beef borscht. She buys like beef bones, and it's kind of like beef soup, but with beetroot as well. So yeah, that's probably my favorite one because that's the one that she makes the most. Any kind of soup, really. I'm not bothered by the difference in the soups. Just have some nice crusty bread with it. I think that's the key, is to get some nice fresh bread from the bakery and have that. Oh, kizil is common. It's some berries. Try fried pilmeni. Sometime once you get bored of the boiled ones. Thanks. Probably not Russian food. We love it though, but it's oriented from Middle Asia. Oh, sorry. Do you have any tips for learners of Russian? Yes, learn more Russian. My Russian is very bad. Yeah, look, if you really want to learn it, you've got to set your mind to it and learn it and, put the time in. And I haven't done that. And that's my downfall of not knowing more Russian in the amount of years I've been here. So, the chat's gone really. Viriniki has an opposite taste to the rest portion, like a strong pepper, sweet strawberry Viriniki. Oh, meant to bring some good luck. Thanks. Evoke, hello. Selyadka. Poor boy. Is that herring under a fur coat? I don't like that, by the way. Either. Wish you a good stream. Thank you. Yes, we're closing in on the end of the stream very shortly. We'll probably go for 9 more minutes. 9 minutes? 9 more minutes? We're pretty much right at the edge of the end of the live stream as it is now. So, my lashes freeze to each other when I walked yesterday. Yeah, actually, when I was breathing in and out, like heavy breathing, I think like my nose hairs were like a little bit frozen. 12 degrees in Tuscany. That still sounds nice. Italy and Tuscany and 12 degrees still sounds nice. If there's any place in Europe I would go back to, it would be Italy. If I could choose it over, France or Spain or Portugal and these different places. I know there's a lot of normalness to countries, and there's, it's not all just that tourist kind of streets that we know of, but having spent quite a bit of time there with the shipyards in Italy, I could happily go back there. I really like borscht. Yes, I think everybody likes borscht to an extent, right? And everyone's got a different different recipe for borscht. And actually, even when we went to our friend's house for New Year, for the 31st of January, New Year, the Olivia salad our friend makes is very different because she makes her own mayonnaise, and it's a very like liquidy kind of Olivia salad. No, stick together is very cold. Yes. And I just want to say thank you to Guillermo. Thank you for the nice content and attitude, which warms me up. Guillermo, you're very welcome. And I say that to everybody. I appreciate people's gestures, kind words. We have a nice friendly chat. There is very little where people are saying bad things in the chat. And I hope it comes across in the videos that I make. That's really why I've not put a video out in the last 3 or 4 days. Not because of the weather, because I did make an attempt twice to make videos. You're going to end up, unfortunately, seeing some shopping center or supermarket videos in the next week until it gets back to a reasonable temperature outside. I like making videos, but when you go somewhere and you didn't feel it, imagine going to Gorky Park in Moscow, the famous Gorky Park, and just not feeling right. I've been there a lot, so I know the place well. I know which way to walk. But I just didn't, especially if I compare it when I went to Vedenha, which has got the ice skating rink there as well. That's got a lot of views on the channel. Just a different place, and I don't know what to say like that. It just felt different. So Guillermo, thank you. It warms you up. I appreciate that from me to you. So thank you. Do you like traveling to mountains? I haven't really been to any mountains as such. um, I would love to go travel a little bit further. I just need people who want to go with me or take me or tag me along with them, you know? Oh, there you go. I'm from Yakuta, Krasnodar. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Yakuts. Sorry, not Yakuta. Yakuts. Now the temperature outside is minus 42, plus 15 in the main part of the apartment. One of the rooms in our apartment is used as a freezer as well all year round. Right, like Moscow fridge. I guess it's Yakut fridge. Thank you, Guillermo. Sorry, I'm just looking again. I've just got the little donation alerts thing off to the side of the screen here. So it's kind of right in my view when I look at it. Because hair helps with the cold, right? Thanks. Yeah, I just get to that point where the problem is with not going to a job and work. If I was doing that, I would shower every day, I'd shave every day or every second day shaving, and I'd be kind of, I'd have a reason to. But when I do YouTube and stay at home, kind of every second day, I kind of have a day where I'm out, day I'm at home. It kind of makes you a bit lazier. I used to learn in the old New Year on the 13th. I'm not sure yet. We've kind of done the 31st. We've done the 24th for Christmas, 31st. Now we've done the 7th. I'm not sure what we're doing for the 13th. I'll have to ask my wife if we've got some sort of plan. I mean, you would like to tell you more about the Russian lifestyle. I mean, daily life, job activities, etc. Yeah, I'm trying to get away from trying to maybe doing like a daily vlog. I really like doing specific videos about specific topics. No negative energy. Yes, thank you. Be positive every day. No negative energy. You are still streaming for us. Yes, it's 9:53 here in Moscow. So, and I did intentionally start earlier so I could finish earlier. Yeah, I tend to go to bed very late. That's true. I can't change my money to rubles. So now I got a job at a factory and make extra on the side teaching. Last year I worked remote in a British company. Oh, I guess you had money getting put into a British bank account, and then you were probably using your cards before they got blocked. So yeah. You were very close for the itching to stop. Just hang in there 1 or 2 more days. Yeah, right. There's that kind of like bothersome period. It really is a laid back, easy, peaceful channel I really need and like the peace you transmit. Thank you, Fortuna. That's very nice of you. Thank you. There's a cruise ship called, there was a cruise ship called Costa Fortuna. Now there isn't a cruise ship called Costa Fortuna. Has positive vibes. Thank you. Do I have a car sharing account in Moscow? Yes, I do. I have one. Bielka car. That's the one that we use from in Aprelivka here. There isn't all of the cars that come to our region that do pick up and drop off, like where you can park it in a certain location. But yes, I definitely use a Belka. I did have, I don't know the name of them. Let me look on my phone now. You're going to make me check. Delhi Mobile, but I've not used that recently. I had problems with Delhi Mobile trying to register the fact that I'm not Russian. And Belka car basically were far more accommodating and accepting of my international driver's license. So I've got basically the Belka car set up and it works very well. I'm not a fan of driving in the ice and the snow, but we typically use it a lot more just to drive locally in our town or go to the local shops and back. You can get a car right where we live. Yeah, you can use cryptocurrency. Yeah, I've never done that. So, as a person from Khabarovsk, where every winter is -30, I can claim that it's really cold in Moscow now. Yes, I think. Explain why some houses have full fences around their homes. Are you talking about here in Russia? Can you explain why some houses have full fences around their homes? Mostly people have it for privacy, especially either private homes, like the ones close by where I live, or if you go out into some of the regions where there is a lot of dachas, people just have the fences for privacy, pure and simple. Definitely not for break-ins and poverty. 1000% not. If that's what you're asking. Yeah, that's definitely not a factor. Do you play video games, Russell? No, not really. No, I play Airport CEO occasionally, and that's it. I'm not into any of the kind of shooting games and car racing games and things like that. I tend to just play a couple of different games on Facebook games, like poker, online poker, or just Candy Crush. So, in simple, Habarovsk. That's what I'm saying wrong. Habarovsk. That's where Natasha's Adventures channel is from, Habarovsk. She always mentions that place. Yeah, fences are part of... Oh, that's interesting. Fences are part of mentality and tradition. Russians have fences in cemeteries. There we go. 425 likes. Actually, 430 now if I turn my head to the side here. Thank you very much. 430 likes. Actually, I think a lot of people jump in, they put a like, and then maybe not stay, because obviously there's a lot less people live than there is watching that did a like, if that makes sense. What we do ask is, if you want to post a comment on the video after it ends, I'll happily be on the chat, on the comments of the channel after the video ends. If anyone wants to post comments afterwards, I'll try to follow up. I need to do a bit of catching up on comments again today, because I didn't post a video today, so it kind of gets behind. So is it really safe to live in Russia? I would say so. I mean, there's places in Perth I wouldn't go out to at night. Even my wife and I, we wouldn't catch the train at night in the city. Wouldn't really go to any of the bars in the city at night. And that's living in Perth in Australia. So, yes, this is interesting. From 50 facts about Australia, there's no Burger King in Australia. It's called Hungry Jack's. Yes. The guy's name is Jack Cowan. Jack Cowan is the guy that basically has the franchise, or he had the master franchise for Burger King in Australia when it was Burger King, and then it came over and it became Hungry Jack's. He still goes every day to a store close to where he lives. He's actually from Perth, the city where I'm from. He's an older guy, very much older guy, very rich guy. He's very modest, very normal. He'd just walk in, order a burger, sit down. Obviously, the staff know him, of course, now, but people that wouldn't know that it was him. One interesting fact about the Burger King: when Sydney had the Olympics in 2000, they in Sydney, it's particularly around the city and the CBD and the nearby suburbs of Sydney, they renamed some of the Hungry Jacks to Burger Kings temporarily, so that tourists that came to Australia wouldn't not go there, because they're not sure what the heck is Hungry Jacks. I don't want to go to Hungry Jacks. I'll go to McDonald's, because there's no Burger King in Sydney. And they renamed some of them to Burger Kings for the Sydney Olympics, which is just a crazy kind of thing. Max, hello. Yes, I wonder what the other 49 facts are, but thank you for that one. How do I find your Telegram channel? If you've got Telegram, literally, there's a link in the description, but if you put it in the search of Telegram, traveling Oh, I won't be able to do it because I've switched my Wi-Fi off. Oh no, you can still see this. So I've just typed, I don't know how that comes up. I just started typing traveling there. And there's the Traveling with Russell channel and Traveling with Russell chat. And it says private group and public group. So if you go to the channel and then type a comment, it'll bring you over to the chat and you'll be there. I hope that makes sense. Voland, hello. Thank you for doing this. Most people don't know a lot about Russia, about living in Russia, right? Nobody's going out until it gets warmer. Yeah, I didn't go out in the Prelivka today or yesterday, but there was definitely less people. There was a lot of people at the shopping center at Solaris. Obviously, their families bring the kids there. And actually, when I was coming home and then I went through Solaris shopping center, I went and got some KFC. Then I went and popped into Globus, the supermarket, to buy some shopping to bring home. And I was thinking maybe I should film a video in Globus or in Solaris now, showing Russian people going to shopping centers because it's warm, rather than staying at home because it's cold. And there was so many kids at the kids activity centers. There's a ton of these drop-off centers where the kids can. There's a trampoline park. There was a VR headset place. There's kids' toys where the kids can stay there supervised, and they were packed, like really packed yesterday. Moscow is different from all of Russia. Yes, I agree. Very agree, actually. It's been sitting home since Christmas. You don't want to go out, Lenny? Fair enough. You don't have to. Oh, Susie, hello. Can't stay to listen tonight, but I know it's always good. Happy New Year to all the chat from the UK. Thank you. Yes, we're going to end the live chat very, very soon. So thank you, everybody. I'll end the poll here. Where are you again on live stream? When am I again on a live stream? Yeah, I tend to spread it out about 2 or 3 days apart. Would you guys like to see one every night? I don't know. I mean, maybe not this long. I think maybe a bit shorter if I did it every night. To the public life in Russia. What is the reaction of your friends from England or America to your life in Russia? I guess my parents are okay with it. My mum's obviously bummed that I'm not in Australia. I post them, show them enough photos, and they know the apartment we live in. They know the town we live in. I mean, I guess what they're seeing on the news is mostly the situation with Russia and the nearby country. So there's obviously a lot of news that's not, it's obviously very biased or very one-sided. That people see the news that's not really the situation. And some things are kind of exaggerated in terms of the news. But I guess that's on both sides, right? I mean, that goes for both sides of the coin. I've lived outside of Australia more than 20 years now, working on cruise ships as well. And then pretty much the contracts when I ended working on ships and came home, I'd go straight on holiday to Bali or Thailand or somewhere. So I'd be far more out of the country than in. So most people are more accustomed to me being not in Australia than me being home. So you can watch live streams from other cities more or less. Same shop, same cafe, same houses. Yes, that's true, Lavok. I agree. It's, it's somebody asked me there about making a video in the neighboring country that's got a yellow and blue flag. And there's not necessarily streamers, but there's people who create YouTube content in every country of the world about their local town, city, place, supermarket, shopping center. And that's what I posted in the comment. Look up somebody that's locally in that place, and they'll be producing content. Like I make shopping center videos in Moscow. They make them in Lviv or Kyiv, right? So, and the guys in the shopping center there, he drives his Porsche from his house to go to the shopping center, to go in the supermarket. Then he drives home to his nice apartment, and he shows as though there's nothing happening. And You know, it's just interesting that, you know, people expect me to go there to make a video versus someone who's already there making videos. Hope that makes sense. It was nice talking to him. He even told me about his huge plans on overthrowing the government. Not sure who that is. Met this one guy, was nice. Comrade General. I don't know who that is or what's his plans, but that would be difficult, I think. Have you made a lot of friends? Not lots of friends, but good friends that are there. And mostly people are online. You don't tend to see people as often here because people don't live ultimately closer to where you live. So you tend to be more online with them on social media than you are maybe in person with them. And you might do a video chat or video call or something. So, yeah. YouTube doesn't show ads for Russian viewers. So it's not so much it's turned off monetization. There's just less income from Russian views on my YouTube channel. So as obviously the channel grows, there's more Russian viewers. Obviously, there's certain videos that I've made obviously appeal to Russian audience versus international audience. So I'm still trying to make YouTube a thing. It's getting a little harder each time though, or each day. So yeah, where there is people watching a video twice, or if you're watching it with a VPN, it's helpful. 3 to 4 times a week would be optimal. Wow. 3 to 4 times a week. I'm going to have to find out about this ice hole swimming thing because it's been mentioned a couple of times on the stream. I just don't know if there's anything local or close by or somewhere in Moscow that does it. Let's see the other fact about Australia. Cooking shows are very popular in Australia. For instance, MasterChef. Russell, most popular Australian dish. You can give an example, which we haven't got here. Pavlova. No, that's from Pavlova, the Russian. There's no such thing as Australian dishes, by the way. There's another fact about Australia. Number 51 fact. There isn't really such a thing as an Australian dish. Almost everything we have in Australia is a derivative of a dish from somewhere else. Ask Jay, who's in England, what's the most popular dish in England, and she'll tell you it's not a British dish. Yeah, MasterChef. I don't really watch MasterChef. My mum watches it. I tend to watch house renovating shows a lot. Not MasterChef. My mum likes it. I don't. What's the other one? My Kitchen Rules, MKR. There's a show called MKR, My Kitchen Rules. And it's teams of 2 who cook in their own house. And the different contestants come to the other person's house and they present a menu and they make a dinner, like a 3-course meal at their house in their kitchen. And it's My Kitchen Rules. Please subscribe. Yes, thank you. I don't know, windless. Yeah, that's the whole thing here in Russia. It's not as windy here as it is in Australia. In Australia, we obviously live close by the beach, so there's obviously a sea breeze, which is very prevalent. Here, there's not really that overland breeze or wind like there is in Australia. Acquaintances. I guess I've got acquaintances. I guess you're an acquaintance. I think you're a friend more than an acquaintance. Yes, please don't go to that place. I see bunches of videos from Ross Dress for Less and TJ Maxx in Florida window shopping, and I see another channel of Fashion Street in Milan. Then yours. It's like don't need to go out. Yes, right. There is a niche for this. Yes, this Ross's Dress for Less, TJ Maxx. Yeah, I know these stores very well. Ross and what's the other one? Ross's and Marshall's is the one in Florida as well. Yeah, there's a niche for it somehow. Pavlova is a New Zealand dessert. Oh, sorry. Imagine a live stream of cooking with Russell. If I could cook, that would be the thing. Oh, Tim Tams. Tim Tams are Australia. They're biscuits though, but that's not food from Australia. It's a biscuit, and it's owned by an American company now, Kraft Nabisco. Don't do the ice hole swimming. You have to be prepared to do that, otherwise it might not end well for your heart. Yeah, there's the thing, right? Yeah, come dine with me. Yes, that's the English version. I think it is, right? And they put the scores for their cooking in their house. Yes. He's obviously prepared for that. Just Dobra Cola. Ruski, good cola, bad Russian. Hello from St. Petersburg. Hello. All right, everybody. I think it's time. We're right about at the time of the live stream to end. We've gone a little bit over the time that I'd like to do the live stream for. So massive thank you, everybody. 464 likes. Thank you to people who did the super chats, or if you may be doing super thanks in future videos. You can do super thanks in a video after you've watched it. That's an old video on the stream, for instance, on the channel, sorry. Oh, selfies are from Australia. Be safe, Russell. Thank you, Sam. Thank you. From 20 crazy facts about Australia, term selfie. And it was the word of the year in 2013, founded in 2013. Yeah, I can imagine that. The girls taking photos of themselves, selfies. The hula hoop's from Australia as well. The hula hoop. That's an Australian invention. I should name a few more, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. Yes, thank you. Thank you for people that did donation alerts. There's always the link in the description of any video. And then also the SberBank. I do seem to notice that very randomly there's SberBank donations made to the channel at all sorts of different times of the day. You know, I'll put a video out, but then there'll be a donation 2 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, not necessarily linking up with when the videos go on the channel. Help of curse Russian words. Did I say something? Did I say a bad word? With help of curse Russian words. I don't think I said any bad words, did I? I don't think so. Unless I read a word somewhere that I shouldn't have read. I've been told not to read any Russian comments to make sure that I don't read anything that's not correctly on the channel. So thanks, everybody. I'm out of here. Again, if you want to leave a comment on this video after it ends, you're more than welcome to. I will have a video in the next... You have not said anything bad. Thanks, Jay. Yes, thank you. Oh, thanks for the emojis, everybody. And Jay, maybe you can try your... There's 2 emojis. I was going to put an emoji for you, wasn't I? And I haven't. If you're a channel member, you've got 2 different emojis that you can put. Can I put them? I think I can. Can I? Custom emojis. If they work. I don't know if they work or not. We'll see now if I've done something wrong. Yes, thank you, everybody. I'm going to go have some seconds of my pasta. I had firsts, I'm going to have some seconds. The Aussies are just waking up. Oh, Star of David. Okay, I'll need to just remember these things. Yeah, thanks, everybody. We've got over 100 people still watching live. I appreciate it. I don't like to say goodbye. You guys know that. I'm the worst at leaving you guys hanging. If you want to see another video on the channel, click the channel after this and open one. If you haven't seen an older video, perhaps, I don't know. There's quite a lot of older ones where people have joined the channel later. So, oh, there we go. Oh, there's a couple of emojis, hearts. Purple hand. Yeah, it doesn't show. Oh man, I wish. Purple hand piece. Yes, if you want to join the Telegram group, Traveling with Russell channel, if you look up that on the search of Telegram, we'll be there after this. Actually, I'll be in the channel if you want to chat in the chat part of it. All right. Bye, everybody. I'll see you in another live stream. Bye.